Dominic Guay, and I'm Senior Producer on Watch Dogs. We're showing multiplayer here for the first time, or part of our multiplayer, I should say. We show how basically players are able to jump into each other's game. Well, I can go back now, I finally can go back to some of the teases we did in the past. So in our E3 demo last year, at the end, we had another player on the rooftop, and he was spying on Aiden as he finished his mission. So that player was at a contract of his own in regards to Aiden. He was basically tailing Aiden, spying on him for another faction in the game. Okay, so what was really happening is that was another player who had gotten that contract, who had jumped into that other player's game. That's done completely transparently, so you don't have like a menu and loading and stuff like that. You just go in the game. And that other player, the one playing Aiden, was not even aware that this other guy was there, basically tailing him in secret. What we're showing here today, in one of our demos, we're showing free roaming and a lot of the things that the player can do around the city. You know, there's a lot of lighter things to the game too. We have AR games, and you can try and spy on people's houses and see what they're doing behind closed doors and all of that. And as we're doing that, exploring the city and showing how the game works, at some point Aiden gets hacked. Someone's hacking into him. And so when that happens, you need to find who is hacking into you. So you can use all your tools, you know, use your profiler and facial recognition. And if you spot the guy who's hacking into you, then you can do whatever you want with him. You can fight back, kill him, do whatever you want. But that other guy, it's another player. And when that happens, we reveal the other player who's joined into the session. And we can also fight back. So what we do afterwards is say, okay, let's go back and hack this guy back. So players, if they're interested, they can basically grow their notoriety, get those contracts, get engaged with other players, and so on and so forth.
So those players, obviously your character skin is Aiden, right?
Yeah.
But the players around you, there won't just be hundreds of thousands of Aidens running around. So how does that work out?
So there will never be two Aidens, let's put it this way. So basically what we're doing is if I'm going and I'm hacking into another Aiden's game, he's going to be seeing me as any other of the other people in the street. So basically I can hide in the crowd if I want. I can be very sneaky, and he might not ever see that I'm within his city, because he'll only see another pedestrian within the city. So there's stealth. If players want to play it that way, there is stealth involved.
And then what do we gain out of killing other players online? And also, how do you deal with griefing?
Yeah, so let's start with griefing. We definitely are very aware that some players don't necessarily want to be, you know, meeting other players. So we will leave control to the player. Players who want to be, you know, alone for a little while, they can do that, no problem. What we do also is we make it a self-balancing thing. Basically, if you go out and you play with other people and you go in their games a lot, you're going to become very much a target yourself. But if you don't do it, then you're going to be shielded basically from that. So it balances out. If you like doing it to others, then they can do it to you. As for why doing it, it's all a notoriety type of thing. So you will grow in power and notoriety within the world. Basically, you're going to be given more and more contract to try and go and do things to more and more powerful players out there. So it's almost a pyramid. So if you want to be on top, you're going to have to deal with the best players out there. We've seen so many different ways of trying to tail another guy without him seeing you, or to hack into him without him being aware of where you are, trying to play cat and mouse with him, and it's the player's creativity that make it happen. So one of the things that we're really trying hard to do with Watch Dogs is create unique anecdotes, you know, things that happen to you that are not designed by a designer, like, okay, here there's going to be an explosion and this will happen and this will happen. We want it to emerge from the things that you decide to do. So we do that all the time in the single player part of the game, if you want, because, well, we build the game as a simulation, and we basically let the player decide how he wants to play, and the city reacts to him. So the way I like to say it is the best wow moment in Watch Dogs should be your creation and not a designer's at the office's creation. And it's kind of the same thing with multiplayer, because, well, we don't control what other players do. So the idea is that, you know, I'm doing something in the game, and another player shows up and it creates something very unique. So obviously we balance it out so that it doesn't spoil what you're trying to do, and we're being very careful with that. But still, and especially in an open world, there's plenty of times where, you know, you're just going from point A to point B. A lot can happen when you're doing that. The specific activities that we're showing here at E3 only involve 2 players. We have other activities that involve more players that we'll be showing on later on.
Positive confirmation on the suspect as Pierce.